it's Sarah Trivedi and Halloween is right around the corner. So I'm going to be showing you how to make some Halloween themed cookies in 5 easy ways. And the best part is, well, actually there are 3 best parts. The first one is that you'll only be using your basic round cookie cutter, and if you lost yours like I did, then you can just use the top of a mason jar lid. The second one is that if you're going to make your own homemade icing, it's just 2 ingredients, which you probably already have at home. And the third one is that you'll just be using 2 icing colors. And if you want to take the extra step, then 3. How easy is that? So let's get started.
And at the end of the video, I'll be showing you how to use your Christmas cutters for Halloween. Make a batch of your favorite sugar cookie dough and chill it in the fridge. Flour your surface and then roll out your dough about 1/4 of an inch thick. Then use a cutter or a mason jar lid to cut out circles. Peel away the excess dough, place the cookies on a baking sheet, and get them in the oven.
Once your cookies are golden brown at the bottom, set them aside to cool. And now we can start working on a 2-ingredient icing. You will only be using icing sugar or powdered sugar and water.
Spoonful at a time, add the water in and mix until you reach an Elmer's glue type of consistency. Then pour it into a piping bag or a Ziploc bag and cut a small hole in the corner. Pipe around the edge of the cookie and then fill it in. You can just pat the gaps with your bag to fill in any holes without adding too much icing. To make the icing black, add some cocoa powder to make it brown first. You may need a little bit more water if it gets too thick. And then add some black food coloring and put that into a bag and cut out a really small hole. For the optional third color, just add some red food coloring into the white icing. Pipe a tight swirl with the black icing onto the still wet white icing. You should be able to see the black sink into the white. Then, with a toothpick, drag a line from the center of the swirl to the outside. Keep going around in a circle like this until you have a web. If you do this when the white is getting dry, this is actually what you're going to end up with instead, so. Now for the optional red spider. I started to make one, but I didn't like it, so I just wiped it off. I started again in the same place so that you won't notice the mistake underneath. Create a long triangle. The skinnier end is the head. In the middle of the body, create a curvaceous V on both sides. And then a long pointy U on the tip of its head. And one more curved leg coming out of the body at the end of each side. On to the mummy. Pipe a long boat shape with the black icing and fill it in. Once the white icing has completely set, press a toothpick or a knife into the icing, creating line indents which will look like bandages. Then pipe 2 little dots as the eyes. Vampire time! Create a widow's peak by piping the shape you make when you draw those quick birds, and they're almost like little M's, and fill it in. Then pipe 2 dots for the eyes and a long grin. Use lighter pressure on your bag when you make the teeth and eyebrows so that the lines can be thinner. Optional red. Add some drips of blood. So thirsty. On to the eyeball. Pipe a small circle in the middle and fill it in. With the red, pipe veins. They are usually just the shape of the letter Y. I see you. The Nightmare Before Christmas's Jack. Create 2 large teardrop shapes that are facing each other for the eyes. Then pipe 2 thin strips that follow the teardrop shapes for the eyebrows, and then 2 smaller teardrops for the nostrils really close together, and a really long grin. I filled it in a bit more on one side as if his mouth was opening. Then create small vertical lines as if you stitched his mouth, which will then become his teeth. And last, pipe 2 small dots for the glowing eyes. Bum bum bum! Adding the same 3 colors on all of the cookies make them go together really well. Now to use your Christmas cutters. Cut out gingerbread men with the same dough. Then just cut out limbs or gashes with a knife and bake them. Pipe 2 black dots for the eyes on the ones that actually have a head, and a sad mouth. Then pipe some blood wherever they have gashes. Make sure that you add drips. Christmas zombies. Where's my head?
Happy Halloween!